Hello, YouTubers. Alright, today I'm going to be coding a continuous integration, continuous delivery bot, script in Github Actions. Let me give you some background in continuous integration, continuous delivery. It's a really useful tool if you're going to be programming, even if you're going to do it by yourself or within a company or an open source. So if you haven't seen it before, this will be a good one to learn if you're interested in programming. And for myself, I need to get a thing working where it uploads, it creates a GitHub issue ticket every night. So a continuous integration, continuous delivery system is exactly what I need. So let me fix my mic. All right, let us get to it. So I'll do a quick tutorial on CI/CD at the beginning. Just talk through it to show you what it is. Oh, let me share my window. There we go. Oh man. Firefox is taking a while to open up. All right, there we go. So if we go to GitHub and let's say we go to Arby's, CI/CD is this has a little checkbox. It's all these things that run automatically when code is pushed, and in our case it runs in a particular set of conditions when a particular pull request is made. Now we won't be working on the Arby's repo today, and what we're going to do instead is we're going to create a CI/CD pipeline in a new repo just because I want to test this out and make sure these things work. So let's try it. Create a new repo. CI/CD test. Creating a CI/CD workflow that'll publish an issue every night automatically. So we're gonna go ahead, create the repository. Now let's go ahead and make this look nicer. Let me throw in this link. So goals. We'll say steps. Hey Tomas, nice to see you as well. Create a basic CI script that when main branch is updated runs. The next goal is going to be create a basic script that creates an issue ticket when main branch is updated. And then the third goal is going to be automatically have CI run every minute. And this is just so we can make sure it works, because the eventual goal is to have an issue ticket posted at 12 p.m. PST every day. And so what CI/CD will do for us in more layman's terms is, let me make this bigger. Every night, well, for me, at 12 PST, our computer will wake up and automatically create an issue ticket in my repo. I want to do this because I want to sort of track something every day, and having a script automatically posted in GitHub will just keep me a little bit more accountable. So we're going to use CI/CD to do it. Let's commit these changes directly to the main branch. Before I get to it, does anyone want a more in-depth introduction to CI/CD? I can show you an example, a more complicated example in Arby's, or we can just jump into the simple script. If there's any opinions, either way, let me know. I'll pause for a second. Let's see if any of these 5 viewers have an opinion. And if you're watching this later and have an opinion, just let me know on Twitter or the comments or whatever. And if I don't do one here, we can do it again on another live stream. All right, Tomas just wants to jump straight into the action. Why would I want to open an issue ticket? This is a good point. Should I show you? What I want to do is every day I want an issue ticket that reminds me that I need to do a certain set of things. And so what it accomplishes is it's the computer sending me a reminder, sort of like a push notification or something that you would get on a phone, that I need to complete like a set of things every day. To be even a little bit more concrete, I track a lot of like my personal to-dos and stuff in my own life with GitHub, because it's just a great place to log notes and keep text files and whatnot. So I'm trying to establish a better morning routine of like drinking water and doing a little bit of stretching. And if I post an issue ticket, I will have to do those tasks before I can close the issue ticket, which will hopefully motivate me to be more consistent with my day-to-day routine. So that's what I'm doing with GitHub. It's a very non-coding thing, but I use GitHub a lot. So I figure, why not use issue tickets to keep me accountable? Does that answer your question, Robbie? I know that was a little bit more probably personal background than I was gonna typically mention, but yeah, you're here on the live stream. All right. If you haven't seen some of my tweets, I use GitHub. All right. Is everything gonna happen on GitHub, like 0 external tools? Let me see. So, Tomas, are you asking if I'm going to code on GitHub, or are you asking whether all the CI/CD will happen on GitHub? I'm still getting used to this live stream lag, so sometimes I don't know how long it takes before you guys hear what I say. I even forgot what the second thing was. What was the second thing I said? I think I'm learning. Next time I'm going to set this to a lower latency. That'll make this a little bit more real time. Yes. Yes, CI/CD will entirely be on GitHub. I won't be using any external tools. It's all going to be in Github Actions. All right. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to make this a little bit more interesting. And next time I know, I'm going to make the lag a little bit less so we can be more real time. But thanks for the patience. All right. So in here in GitHub, you see this thing called Actions. And it makes it pretty easy to go in here, hit configure, and add a whole bunch of actions. But what I'll do in this stream, just to make it maybe more in-depth or interesting, is I'll do this using a more developer-typical workflow. GitHub has all these buttons and things like that, but if you work at most of the companies, you're going to have to do this with config files and whatnot in a more traditional development environment. So let us do that. So the first thing to do is let's get a GitHub Actions template. And what it's going to be is it's going to be this YAML file. just like this one. So easily enough, we'll copy this one, open up. Actually, I need to clone this repo first. Let's open up. Yeah, I do. I need a terminal. All right. Git clone cd. All right, so this terminal doesn't have much. It is right. This repository doesn't have much in it. So what we need to do for GitHub is we need to create a I believe it's a .workspaces directory. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna go look at Arby's because I've set this up in Arby's before. Or we're gonna look at PyMC. So you can see, whoops. Oh, there you go. That was accidental. So we need a .github directory. So pro tip, if you want to find the GitHub Actions CI/CD in most repositories, you go to .github, and in here they have a workflows folder. And these YAML files are the continuous integration, continuous delivery. So for instance, this one is a delivery because it releases the package. Yeah, so I think you're gonna learn pretty quickly. Professional coders tend to just copy things that they've already done. They don't really remember it all the time. But that's what we're gonna do here. So I'll post this in the chat so folks can find it more easily. In PyMC, the delivery is this because we're releasing a Python package when we make a release. So quick plug, PyMC is about to release version 4.0, which is really, really exciting. It's been a couple years in the making, and this particular GitHub action script will do that for us. In terms of continuous integration, here is our testing configuration. So when developers push new code, if you were to make a pull request and attempt to merge it into PyMC, what will happen first is the script will wake up a computer, which will run all of these tests. So this is more of like the continuous integration checker. Now the continuous integration, the continuous delivery is a little bit blurry. With PyMC, we're not always continuously integrating code, like automatically merging it, but these names are the common names for these sorts of automated actions that happen when an event triggers them in a code pipeline. All right, so let us copy. All right, let's copy the basic one, and then we'll get started on the starter workflow. So make directory, whoops. Now GitHub, make directory workflows. So one thing that's annoying about these sort of tools is it's like really sensitive to the names and the casing and all sorts of stuff. So if you don't get them right and it doesn't work, that's usually the cause. All right, we need to create a file. Now we can name the file whatever we want. We're gonna name this touch livestream.yaml. And then I'm gonna paste this in Vim for now, but then we're gonna switch over. We're gonna switch over to Visual Studio Code because I don't have my Vim configuration on this virtual machine. All right. So let us swap over to VS Codium. We have our other code from our last time. Let's save any of it. File. Add a folder. CD test. Let's do it. Oops. Okay, so I already made a mistake. This should be in here. hit move. Okay. So what do we have in here? We have the name of the job, which will leave us at a default for now. We have some trigger actions, and then we have in here these things called the build environment and then the steps. So one by one, the name is just the name as it indicates. You can name this whatever you want. We'll rename this later. What this is saying is that when you push to a default branch or you pull to the default branch, it will run. What will happen when it runs is it'll spin up an Ubuntu virtual machine somewhere in GitHub's server cluster or server farm, and then it's going to run through these steps. It's going to use this action to check out the code, and then it's going to run a one-line script that says hello from the Okta organization. And this is just a simple echo command to let's commit that code and add it. So typically the first one doesn't trigger because you just push this the first time. Tomas asks, is default branch defined somewhere in the GitHub repo, or is it always main? I think it's defined in settings in GitHub. So let us find it. Yeah, I don't know. Let's Google that. Let's find out together. Okay, so default branch probably. I got it. Okay, so this is an important thing we'll get to in a second. I think, Tomas, to answer your question, it's the default branch that's set in GitHub. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but what Tomas is alluding to is that when CI/CD runs, a very common thing is there's a lot of these environmental variables that tell tell the code what to do or tell the runner whether to take one path or another path. Default branch is one that is, I believe, injected in by GitHub, but we can test that in a second. So let's try that out. So let's get it running first, and I will come back to that question. Okay, turn this music a little up. Okay, so we have our YAML file here, and we have it trigger whenever there's a push to the default branch or pull request on the default branch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a pull request on the default branch, and what should happen is that it should run, because now that this YAML configuration file is in the repository, GitHub will pick up that since there's a pull request to check this and to trigger CI/CD. So I should say trigger an action. So I'm going to say action now. So let's try it. All right. So let me do it here because it'll be nicer and easier to see. So let's bold the stream link because that actually would be visually aesthetic. Ooh, what is going on here? Okay. All right. Let's check our status. Hello, Alina likes cozy. Thank you for the comment on the setup. Is my full screen visible? Okay. Git checkout minus B, first PR, branch, git push origin, first PR. Okay, so let's do this together. So I want to show you this all in real time because it'll be more interesting that way. I need to rearrange my windows so you can see everything all at once. We've got some cool GitHub features coming up. Side by side. All right. Maybe make this a little smaller. Okay. So what we're gonna do is when we push this code, we triggered this little button that says compare and pull request. So I'm gonna hit this button, and you're gonna see that it's gonna ask me if I want to add these changes. The changes we made were the bolding of the stream link. Oh, perfect, exactly what we wanted. As soon as I hit create pull request, what should happen is you should see something pop up right here. If we did this correctly. And sometimes it takes a second. This will be the first test. Always the fun of live coding. Oh, nothing's showing up, so maybe we did something wrong. Alright, so what I would hope would have showed up is a GitHub action that would have run and shown us a job, but that did not happen. So we gotta figure out what is wrong. So let's go back. GitHub workflows, livestream.yaml. What is the issue with our file here? On push. So what we're gonna do is we're going to change this, but let me just go back real quick. All right, nothing. So we'll double check. Hey, privacy.github workflows. Looks good. We will also check our setting over here. Allow actions and reusable workflows. All right. And let's just check our runners tab. Okay. So all this looks good. There is some other challenge. All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change this to main. So Tomas's question, should the action be running on push itself before the pull request? All right, great question. What we have configured here is on the default branch variable. If it's pushed to the default branch variable, then it should run. If there's a pull request against the default branch, then it should also run. So we did not push to the main branch, so it did not run, but it should have run once we triggered a pull request. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna comment this out just to make this really clear, and we're gonna change this to main, and that way it's explicit. And then we're gonna try this once again. All right, so I'll do this all over here so it's easy to see. I'm gonna do this pretty quick because we're not doing a Git tutorial today. We're doing a CI/CD tutorial today. So git check out main, git check out CI/CD fix. /y. Oh, I'm glad that made sense. Really appreciate that, that you giving me all that feedback. So, let's, oh, I can't, well, I gotta do this manually. All right, copy. Oh, I can just do it here. So, we're gonna create our pull request. We're gonna fix our, we're gonna disable the one on push. We're gonna make main explicit. Oh, it's running even without our fix. Sometimes, you know, CI/CD is a little bit slow, and you gotta wait a little bit. I sometimes get impatient, but hey, we didn't even need to merge it. It seems to have fixed itself here. But we'll go ahead and merge this. So awesome, you saw this. This was your first, well, maybe not your first, but in this repo, this was the first CI/CD run. So what you can see is that when we pushed it, just for that brief second there, it ran something. That was that orange spinning circle, and then we got a check mark. So what's happening is that it is setting up a virtual environment. So our current runner here, let me make this a little bigger for you, is whatever this GitHub version is. You got your operating system, you got your virtual environment, you got your GitHub tokens, some secret stuff which we haven't configured. It's pulling in this actions checkout code. So a nice thing about GitHub Actions is it's got all these pre-made actions, sort of like code recipes or packages for reusable actions. So we got that, and then we ran our one-line script. Awesome, so it worked. So let us now merge this. All right, so now we know it works on pull request, which is great. So we have this one, and you see that it doesn't have a run right now. But Tomas had asked a question earlier, which is, what is the default? Whoops. That was question from Tomas. Wow, my keyboard is bugging out. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you that, but we're gonna use CI/CD to show you that. So let's go back to our code. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, I know how we can do it. So on this branch, which is our, well, now it's our main branch. So let's git checkout main, git pull origin main. Let's get our git tree back. You can see that here. If anyone wants me to do a git tutorial someday, let me know. There's a lot of them, but if you want to see me do a git tutorial, just let me know and we can do one day. But for now, we're back on the main branch. Let's check out our first PR. Okay, so we have this thing called default branch. This is an environmental variable. So what we can do is we can just copy this, and let's create another action right here, and let's say print environmental var. And we can copy this, and we can just let it. Ooh. Okay. So what this is going to do is it's going to print out what the default branch is. I actually don't know. I think it's main, but let us use CI/CD to find out. So what should happen here, and again, I'll split the screen a little bit so we can do this side by side, so you can see all the stuff happening. What should happen here is once I can commit this code locally, and that's on my local computer. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops. git commit.n, add echo for default branch var. Okay, so this is all on my local computer. When I push this, what's going to happen is you're going to see a commit pop up over here. It's going to have, so here's the commit we just made. It has this hashtag, sorry, the SHA-256 sum. And you're going to see this commit pop up here. This message will be here. The first, I think like 8 or so digits or whatever, 8 or so characters will be here. And then you should see CI/CD run. So. All right, there we go. We still have an issue. Oh, there we go. Woo! All right, there you go. So that's all of it working together. We pushed this code from my virtual machine here, and we pushed it onto GitHub. Once GitHub's computer saw it, it added the it listed the record that you've seen here, and then it automatically ran our GitHub action. So let's take a look. One successful check. Great. We go in here. Let's go through print environmental var. And default branch name is branch. I was not expecting that, actually. Okay. I guess that's what the default branch name is of this particular repository. I'm sure we can change it somewhere in GitHub. It's probably in one of its like bazillion settings. But this is probably why it didn't run earlier. We don't have a branch named branch. So I'm gonna pause here for a second. I need to run in the restroom, but I'll be back in just a minute. All right, let's get back to it. So if we go through our to-do list, which is on our README, let's actually turn this into a checklist. I mean, that's what we need to do. So let's do that again. Let's fix up our. What do I want to do? Well, there's a couple things we want to do actually. So let's fix it up in a very particular order. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start editing using GitHub directly. That way it's a little bit faster and you don't have to watch me type in so much code and push locally and push there. So same things are happening. I'm just going to do it more quickly using the browser and GitHub. So let us go ahead and merge this pull request. Looks good. We're going to merge this. So now instead of using my local editor in Visual Studio Code, I'm gonna just start editing here. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna edit right here, and we're gonna uncomment this out, and we are going to change that to main, because what I want now is I want it to also run when I just push to main. So start commit, re-enable GitHub action run when changes on main. Okay, I'm gonna commit directly to the main branch. Looks good. What's gonna happen now is you're gonna see CI/CD over here. So when you're working in GitHub, when you merge on main, you won't have a pull request for it to see the run. But if you click on this thing right here, this is where you'll see the last run for CI/CD. So if we go into this one, it's really fast because there's not much going on. But it ran super quick. So we'll make a couple other changes. We'll say this one is completed. So we got a basic CI script that runs when the main branch is updated. That runs when the main branch is updated. That is complete. We now need to do this one, which is create a basic script that creates an issue ticket when the main branch is run. So I'm gonna commit these changes as well. Update README seems good enough to me. Commit, you're gonna see CI/CD run once again. Here we go. Let's make this bigger. So once again, you see the yellow dot here, which means it's running. We made a change, so it ran. Perfect. So to create an issue ticket when the main branch is updated, we need to do a couple of things. We need to add an issue ticket template. So GitHub has another handy feature, which is you can create issue ticket templates. We are again going to go to PyMC and we're going to cheat and copy theirs. PyMC devs, PyMC. It is once again in the GitHub folder in this directory called issue template. And this is the issue template for the PyMC repo. So you can see here it says bug report, description of your problem, your code here, versions, blah, blah, blah. The way this works is when you go to issues and you want to create a new issue, check it out. You got this template. It says bug report. And when you click get started, it's got all the same things that we saw in that issue ticket template that I was just on right here. So you can compare these two and you'll see the similarities. Well, you'll see the equivalence. So let's go ahead and just take this template. I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to do this in my terminal because creating directories in the GitHub browser gets a little dicey. So we need to go here, GitHub. I think it was issue templates. Yeah, issue template. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna straight up copy the PyMC template. So here's the template code, wget, and then now we have it. We can be cool and we can use less. That way the power coders who are watching me don't get too annoyed. But you can also see that same file has now appeared here. Issue template bug report. Great. So we're gonna name this. Automatic issue template, and we'll just say we'll get rid of most of this. Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll do it. Okay. All right. So we'll say this is issue please comment if it works. Okay, great. So same deal as before. We're gonna push this. Git commit bam. Add issue git. And I want to show you this again live because GitHub has some really cool features and it's really neat to see them work live. So let me show this to you. So no pull requests right now. Git checkout -v. Add a template. Git status. There. Let's just check our logs real quick. See what our last commit was. It was add a template. Okay, great. So git push origin. Git push origin. A template. You should see a little box open up right here because GitHub saw that a new branch was created, which is awesome. Good job, GitHub devs. We're gonna hit this button to create the pull request. And then once I create the pull request, surprise, we should see our action run again. So let's create that. And in just a second here, we should see a box pop up. Cool. We will again let this run. Actually, this time we can watch it. So here you can see it working. It started, it's taking about 3 to 4, well, here's the timer running. And this one only took 3 seconds because, again, it's a very, very small script. It doesn't need to do too much. Create our environmental var, run the stuff, complete our job. Awesome. Post job cleanup, perfect. We are gonna go ahead and merge this. Again, moving quickly here because this is a CI/CD live stream and not a GitHub live stream. So now when we go to issues and we click new issue, now we get this thing, which we didn't have before. So now when we click get started, this is our issue template. Please comment if it worked. It did. Awesome. Oh, we don't have a title. That's a mistake. We gotta fix that. So let's cheat again and go to these guys and see how they did it. Oh, there is no automatic title. So let's figure out how to add that. So configuring an issue template, bug report, issue default title. Okay. So all we gotta do is we gotta figure that out. In the docs. Alina asks, when should you not do a CI/CD pipeline? I think if you have code that is like a very small... Okay, if you have a set of scripts that don't need to run frequently, it's just sort of a library of scripts, and you probably don't need CI/CD. And if you don't really need to run automated checks against your code, then you probably don't need CI/CD. And if you're a single developer, like a lone developer, let's see. All your checks locally, and you probably don't need it. But if you work in a team and teams are pushing code all the time, then you almost definitely need it. Almost definitely need it. So, all right. So this is how we create our. So we add a title. Let's go ahead and fix that. Ah, it's a CML file. Okay. So we're create What are you doing, Alina? Like Cozy Playmaker Unity, that you would need it. What's going on in your world? Okay, we've added our automatic title to a branch. As you see now, when we go here, there'll be a little pull request button. We're gonna go ahead and create the pull request. We are going to merge it. We'll merge it even before CI finishes running, because in this case we know what's gonna happen. And then this time when we go and we click new issue, we should see an automatic title that looks exactly like this. So new issue, get started, and it worked. Great. That's how you add automatic titles to placeholder titles to your GitHub templates. Okay, that worked. All right, so here's the next thing. We have like a step 1.5. Step 1.5. Create an issue ticket template in GitHub. Okay, so we got that. Oh, let's make that completed. Okay, so now we got that. What we want now, oh, where did it go? Oh, well, I didn't format my YAML very well. Oh, because markdown. Okay, let's fix that. Let's fix that. Kind of changes. Okay. Jeesh. This is sometimes why I don't use the GitHub editor, I promise. Because if you have these minor formatting issues, it doesn't really tell you about them, and then you kind of just find out. I should hit the preview button, really. Okay. That looks good. Let's commit that again. All right, so now we've run, CI has run like 5 times. What we can do is we can even click on this button and click details. And we can go to, there's a way to see all the jobs. I gotta remember how to see all the jobs. How do you see all the jobs? Okay, we go here and you can see that we have run it many times. We ran it 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 ago, 40 seconds ago, 23 seconds ago. Every single time we updated this README. All right. Well, let's take a breath and let's get back to what we're trying to do here. So the whole point was to create issue tickets automatically on a schedule. We have gotten the we've gotten CI/CD working in this repo from scratch. We have an issue ticket template that we're going to be using as the template for our automated issue tickets. Now we just need to have them happen when the main branch is updated. So we've been running an echo script which prints up into the console. Now every time something is updated on the main branch, we want an issue ticket to be created. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this GitHub Actions script. So we're going to copy this one. So one cool thing about GitHub Actions is that there's already a lot of templates that people have created that will run code for you. So what we want to do is we want to copy the create an issue ticket. All right, so what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna try and figure out how this is working. So we have here is we have an action that is create an issue. That sounds good. We have a GitHub token that grabs the GitHub token out of the environment, and it looks like what it does is it creates an issue from the thing called issueTemplate.md. Okay, so should be easy enough. The first thing we need to do is we need to rename our template issueTemplate.md because that is what this particular script needs. So let's go do that. Oh, actually want it to stay there. Check out main. Git pull. Oh boy, am I getting it? Oh, I didn't. Okay. Okay. Let's delete some of these older branches that we don't need anymore. Add template. I don't have autocomplete. Oh, annoying. Oops. Okay, got rid of all those branches. That is nice and clean. MV bug report, and we're gonna rename this. So this is basically a rename command, but in the terminal. So now if we do ls, bug report has changed into issueTemplate.md. We should see that in our changes. Deleted, added. All right, Ravi asks, where can I find the code for each action? How do I know exactly what it does? Let me commit this and upload it, and then I'll answer your question in a second. So with GitHub, what you can do is each action links to the repo. So this particular person, I have no idea who they are, has their code right here at JSON add code create an issue. So let's actually go dig into his code. I haven't looked at it. This is gonna be fascinating. So this is his repository. He's got a lot going on, which is really cool. He has his own CI/CD on his GitHub action. Let's talk about like meta coding here. And he's using Node.js. All right, we're actually not using a programming language. Although if we were, we'd be using Python. But he is running the Node Package Manager CI, and you can see all of that here. And this is taking quite a long load. So what's happened is this hasn't run for a really long time. So GitHub has deleted the logs, but at one point in time, this had ran. It looks like this last ran November 16th, 2021, quite a long time ago. So we're gonna have to actually go back to his code and see what's happening. We'll go to source here. We'll click on action.ts, and he has all of his code here. So if we read through it, it is reading the template, okay, render string, fetching issues with title template, existing. So he's doing some if-then logic, whether it's going to update an existing template or do something else. And then okay, so this is what's happening right here. Robbie, this is probably the line that you are most interested in. It looks like he's using JavaScript to grab the issue ticket template from the local repository, and then he's using the GitHub node tool to create an issue using Node.js. So this could have been done with any programming language, but the important part is this is what is going on with this particular GitHub action. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it did. Good news, I don't have to write Node.js. I'm just gonna copy his code and use it. Again, programmers, we just reuse stuff. It's way easier than doing everything ourselves. Let's hope it works though too. It hasn't run in a while, so I mean, the last tests seem to have passed, and it looks like other people are using it, but he has not updated it in a while. Yeah, I will. Maybe there's something that's created in action in Python. I don't know, but I also would understand it better if it was in Python. But let's test it out. So what we need to do is let's just check that our issue template has been changed. Issue template.md per his docs. That has happened. What we want to do now is we want to modify our pipeline to use this action. So I should say their action. I don't exactly know whether it is he, but we will use their action that they created. So we're going to go to our, let me check my branch real quick. Check out main. Okay, up to date. We're going to go and we're going to modify our workflow right here. So we have two things going on. We have an echo, and then we have this. So I'm gonna delete that. Oh man. Sometimes why? Let us not save and override the changes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is let's name this to. Let's rename this automatic issue creation. That sounds like a better name. And then let's also, I don't think we need to use this twice. I think actually we only need to use this once. That was a little bit of a mistake. But let's go ahead and delete this. We are going to copy their action. I gotta go back. Okay. So we're gonna copy their code. So we'll add the uses up here. I'm actually gonna add the uses down here. I like to pair the uses with the action. So we're going to put this in. We'll copy that piece, and then I think that's it. I think we're good. So let's try that first. So what should happen is when we push, we should see an automatic issue be created. So let's again do this side by side so you can see everything happen all at once. So right now I have these two issues. Let's actually let's close both of them so we can start out fresh. There's no open issues. Git commission. Add auto issue creation. So what theoretically should happen is CI should run, and we should automatically see an issue pop up here. So I'm going to switch over to this tab real quick. I'm going to open CI, click on this, and this failed. All right. You may need the actions checkout to clone the repository first. Okay. So this is our first failure. This is actually a great learning experience. I wasn't even trying. So what happened, what we've seen before is we've seen all of our tests, our CI/CD pipelines pass because we didn't have any code that would cause failures. Let's actually go to, I want to show you all of them. So this is job 13, but I want to show you all the jobs. Okay, we view workflow runs. So everything up till now has had the green check mark because it's all ran. But this, sorry, it's all ran, but ran successfully. This one did not run successfully. So we get the X mark. And it's because we needed to include the checkout action with this particular step, which was a mistake in my code. So let's fix that. Let's go ahead and add that here. we need the checkout action to check out the repository. So we have the issue ticket template to create the issue ticket. So we're going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and go here. Just before we start, no issue tickets available right now. That's what we're starting with. A failure of a check mark. So we're out of music. So let's start that over again. All right. Add our update in. Fix CI. All right, so this was going to turn into an orange dot because we pushed in the main branch. Let's refresh. Okay, there we go. There is our yellow dot because we made an update 20 seconds ago. Let's let this run. If I remember correctly, this should automatically change to a green check mark, which would be the best situation. We can actually watch it run, so let's do that. We get another failure. You need to check out the... Oh, we did do that. All right. Let's go back and copy his code. We may need to give this job permissions. So this is something that I neglected to do as well before. So let's go ahead. Let's give this permissions. So as the name implies, permissions is what gives the gives this particular container, this particular CI job the permission to do things, and we needed to be able to read the repository, and we needed to be able to write an issue, which makes sense. So back over here, let's go to view all workflow runs, because this time we'll see it in a different UI. Once we push, we should see a new workflow pop up right here. There you go. Add permissions. Let's go. Oh. Okay, new error. Issue template.md could not be found in your project's workspace. Okay. It looks like what they want is the issue template should not be in the issue template repo. They want it up here per his code. So I'm going to move that to GitHub. So now I'll just show it to you in the over here, so it's a little bit more obvious. Oops. So issue template now needs to be under GitHub, and that's directory right here, not in the issue template folder, and not in the workflows folder. That is how this particular script is written. All right, good luck with your stream. Alina meets Cozy, or Alina likes Cozy. I'm sure it's gonna be a good one. So let's add this. Let's commit and add it again. Okay, let's look at our builds. This should pop up once again. We will give it a second. Let's help it along. Hey, look at that. It worked. We moved the template and then it created an issue. And that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. So let's test this again. What we can do here is we're gonna edit our README file to say that this has been completed. And what's gonna happen is because we're making a commit to the main branch, it's gonna kick off another CI run, which should create another issue. So let's try that. This should kick off a CI run, which we'll see right here. And we should see this 1 turn into a 2. Let's do a quick refresh. Success. And we got a 2. Yeah, that's awesome. So now this is automatically creating issues on main. Let's do our very last thing. What we want to do is we want to have CI run every minute just to make sure that, we want to have CI run every minute because that was the purpose of this whole thing. I wanted to create an issue ticket every night at midnight. Now I don't want to wait till midnight to see if it works. So we're going to set it to do this every minute instead. And we're going to use this thing called schedule. So Github Actions schedule events that trigger workflows. So this is the documentation for the thing that triggers workflows right here. I already know there's a one name schedule because I use this at a different company. So on a schedule, we're gonna have this run. I'm gonna copy this code. We'll talk about what this cron script is in a second. So let's go to our code. We're gonna need to pull the main branch because we made an update. We are going to add this. Oh, let's fix the. We are going to disable these two. And we're going to have to put in a cron string here. So cron is a tool in Linux that automatically has something run when you schedule it. So, sorry. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's something that automatically runs when you schedule it. So it's a tool in Linux, and I think it's also a tool in Mac. I don't know if it's a tool in Windows, but you can see this here, man cron, a daemon to execute scheduled commands. That's exactly what we want. Now, figuring out what you need to put in for a cron string is a little bit of like, where is it? These strings are a little bit of magic. So I just type in cron generator, and you just find one of these websites that does it. What we want is, this one's not very good. Let's go to this one. We want something to happen every minute. So we click that every 1 minute starting at minute 0, and we get our resulting cron expression right here. Let's check these. We don't care about a specific hour of the day. Oh, sometimes cron expressions, huh? Okay, let's just copy this one. We don't want anything to happen at us. I guess we'll put the specific second as 00, specific every minute, and then just copy that. Hours, 0, daemon. great. Easiest thing to do is just try it. We're gonna add that in. We're gonna commit our code. Add all right, and what we should see now is that CI won't run immediately, but it should start running every minute. Oh, did not like that. Okay, so what's wrong is that something is off with our file. It did not like our schedule for some reason. So what we can do is, let's just edit this and this. Invalid cron attribute. Okay. Cron strings are very, very frustrating sometimes. So let's try fixing it. Let's try another cron generator just in case. Okay, every 1 minute. Every day. We'll just check all the boxes. Okay, so what is this saying? Next scheduled run. Next scheduled 5 days. 6/1. How do you it's not another, this is not a good generator either. This is kind of frustrating. I probably should just write it. Okay. This was a good one. All right. Every minute. That's what we want. Oh. So let's edit our cron attribute. This is what's wrong. Okay, action schedules run at most every 5 minutes. So we'll have to set 5 because it won't let us run every minute. So let's try that one. We might have to wait a while, 10 minutes in a row. So let's set that. We have committed that. This should run every 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up a timer. Let's say countdown timer. Let us go to our actions. Oh. Okay. And what we should see, let's say, let's run this. So what we should see is that in 10 minutes, we should see 2 runs. That's going to take a while to get through 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my video. I'll let this timer run. Feel free to grab a drink or dinner or whatever you happen to be doing at the moment. And we'll let this timer run for 10 minutes to see whether we get 2 jobs. We'll at least let it, actually maybe we'll at least let it run for 5 minutes and see how patient folks are. So if you've got any questions or anything like that, or you've got a live, or you want to do a live Q&A, just drop those into the chat and I will answer them for you. Otherwise, I will See you in a bit. Alright, it looks like it's been 5 minutes, but it didn't actually run, which is a little annoying. One thing that gets challenging with CI/CD, sometimes it's quite frustrating to check. We'll give it a couple minutes, otherwise we may just call it. Let's see. Maybe it ran and we just have an update. Oh, no. Just double check this real quick. Make sure it's the old one. Okay, that is the old one. I got a play date. You're gonna hear me playing it. It's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna show you right here. It's a really neat, cool console. I really enjoy messing around with it. So I'm gonna play a game while we wait. Oh. All right, folks, we'll give it to 10, and then I will probably call it. Okay, so it looks like it's not actually running on a schedule, which is a little disappointing because that was the purpose of the stream. But what I'm going to do, rather than extend the stream forever while we're waiting for it to run, I'll fix it offline while I'm doing other things, get it working, and then once I do, I'll upload the code so you can see exactly how it runs, including a couple screenshots of an example. So thanks so much for joining me. If there's any final questions, let me know. I'll pause here for a second, see if there's anything else lingering or anything else you'd like to ask. I know there's a little bit of latency, so I'll give this about 10 seconds just to make sure. But get it into the chat if you have anything. None? Okay. Well, thank you for another stream, and I will see you next time.